Hey everybody, this is the Aggressively Medium podcast with Lee and Josh.
Hey Josh.
Sitting on G waiting on O.
Oh.
Time to go.
Well.
Hey everybody.
Episode 73.
73.
Josh has a girl's hat on.
This is not a girl's hat. It's a very manly hat.
It looks a little small for you.
No.
Really?
No.
You can adjust it?
Small? Yeah. I just got it on there. I got a lot of hair right now.
I do too. Gosh, I need a haircut.
I'm growing that mullet out.
You Theo Vaughn in it?
Heck yeah.
I got mine. I can put mine in a little P-tail back here.
I probably could.
They're both off camera right now. When people listen to us, it's fine.
Yeah, this is a very visually entertaining podcast this week. We're not going to talk at all. We're just going
to
make funny faces.
Yeah.
Anyways, episode 73. Welcome back, everybody.
Yeah.
We're glad you're joining us.
Yeah. I got a question for you.
Okay.
To start off.
Okay.
Stop laughing.
Okay.
What's the difference between a straight man's mustache and a gay man's mustache?
I don't know what.
The smell.
Gross.
Yeah. And it doesn't even completely make sense, except you think about it.
You gotta go. Yeah.
It's gross and funny. I heard it in a movie. What'd you used to say? I'll try anything twice.
I'll try any.
You used to have that when you charge your phone. It would say that.
Oh yeah. I'll try anything twice. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Another good one is $20 is $20.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So speaking of my hat that you like so much, Meg was at an event in Birmingham this week. That was your joke, right?
That was it.
Yeah, we're going right into it.
Oh gosh, this is bad.
So we're at an event in Birmingham this week with Meg's Candle Company, and of course, there's nothing for me to look at. They had like, some lady some lady found some driftwood floating down the street after her house got flooded.
Yeah.
And made like a wind chime out of it.
Was there any antler work?
There was a little bit of antler work. There was some moss. Like they had little pots of moss everywhere. Some lady was selling breast milk soap. So that was nice.
Dingus was selling candles. Always.
My wife was selling candles. And the one thing that was there that I
like
had,
her candles. We have one. It's great.
Yeah. Somebody
really
walked up and asked, "What's your favorite one?" And I said, "I don't know.
The vanilla one."
I'm not a big candle guy. I'm not a big scent guy. I don't want a bunch of scents going on.
Okay.
Because it makes my stomach hurt.
Strong scents give me a headache.
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't know how I got through middle school. Everybody spraying Axe at gym.
Oh, gosh.
In gym class.
Just, can you imagine how bad that smelled? Just a bunch of sweaty kids and Axe body spray.
And nobody wore deodorant.
Yeah.
Because it was just when your piss start.
Yeah, because everybody's...
Pits, not your piss. Your pits, yeah. Armpits.
Well, everybody was worried about the aluminum in deodorant back then.
Yeah, gosh. If I see another commercial for organic deodorant.
Hey, load me up with aluminum.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Tin Man was fine.
That's what they make Ford Mustangs out of now is aluminum. So
it doesn't hold temperature very like you can hold aluminum full after.
If you get into an accident, it rips it up real good.
Bring it on.
But anyways, there was only one table there that I had any inclination to visit, and it was Nashville hot sauce.
What's that one?
That right there.
Pretty unique name.
Yeah,
they make hot sauce in Nashville.
Yeah, they make hot sauce in Nashville, and I told them because Lee loves hot stuff,
and by loves, I don't even like it on the table.
I made wings one night that was a barbecue sauce, and Lee almost died, and it was not even touching anything hot.
Just for reference, at Buffalo Wild Wings, if you've never eaten at Buffalo Wild Wings, I can't help you, but at Buffalo Wild Wings, the honey barbecue burns me up.
I think our target audience has probably been at B-Dubs.
I'm just saying, if you hadn't,
twice.
Honey barbecue. It's like 2% honey, 98% bee sting. That's where they get the bees with the honey.
I used to have a buddy in
used to.
Yeah.
You're not friends anymore?
Well, he just moved off.
I understand.
Keep in touch. But we would go to Buffalo Wild Wings while we were in college and broke, and he would do the
hot
wing
wings challenge to eat for free.
Just to eat for free.
I like it.
Yeah,
I couldn't.
They stopped taking his picture because
That's,
they would take your picture and put it up.
you know how bad that is for you.
They also like triple brewed coffee to like stay up late. They would like make coffee and then pour it back in the top
And brew it through again.
brew it through again, and then brew it through again, and just it's college, man. You put a bunch of stuff in your body you don't want.
Yeah,
I mean, you
like
know,
that night.
like that night.
Yeah.
Penises.
Ugh.
Anyways, so
Josh is making me eat hot sauce.
you like garlic though, right?
I do.
Yeah. So this is hot garlic, hot sauce Nashville. Oh, it's hot sauce, not hot sauce Nashville. I was saying Nashville hot sauce.
Oh, it's hot sauce Nashville.
Hot sauce Nashville. So it's hits the spot.
What's the
pleasurably spicy
How many
with a pinch
Scovilles-
of garlic.
How many Scovilles it got in it?
I don't think it's got Scovilles on here.
It doesn't tell you the Scovilles?
Do not eat if you're dating a vampire. So it's garlicky.
Oh, good. That's fine. What if I have a kidney stone?
Oh, it's gonna break it right up.
Okay, good. Then give me the whole bottle.
There's 40 servings in this bottle, so we should take at least like half a piece, I think.
You're dabbing that on my spoon.
Here, you can
Okay.
do your own spoon.
You can go first. By the way, that wasn't a joke. I have a kidney stone right now. And
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just the absolute
Please got
worst.
a kidney stone.
Look how chunky it is.
Let's try and get that off the top.
Yep. I thought I had a sprain back for 2 weeks, but it was a kidney stone forming, and now it's moved to the area it's supposed to be at.
It's still just sitting on top right there.
Yeah. Just get that.
I was trying to get a little liquid.
It'll come.
Are you sure?
I don't know. There you go. You got to get more than that. If you get that, I'm getting just a
Well, I'm trying not to get the globby stuff. Oh, there we go. Come on. There you go. Good job, hot sauce.
I'm sure this is riveting podcast if you're not
It's about to
watching.
be. It's about to
If
be.
you've never watched us before, oh my gosh, that's so much.
Oh, you were.
That's fine. You can eat all you want. You can eat all you want.
We'll get that much then.
If you've never watched us before
It's real garlicky.
on YouTube, watch this one because this is probably the only time I'm ever going to eat hot sauce. That's all I'm eating, man. I can't do
that's
any
fine.
more than that.
That's fine. And you gotta turn the spoon upside down and make sure it gets on your taste bud.
I can't lick the bottom of the spoon. Oh, I tasted it. It's really garlicky.
Through the metal?
No,
Through
just
the
on
metal?
the very edge. It's very garlicky.
It's got a good garlic smell to it.
It tastes like salsa or smells like salsa.
Smells like salsa. Are you a salsa guy?
mild salsa.
Mild salsa.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm ready.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hot as crap. That's so hot. Yeah, it burned you up. This is burning me up. All right.
You want another dab? I'm fine. It was super garlicky.
I'm going to be fine, but that sucks. Why would you want your mouth to feel like that when you're eating food? That messes food up.
I like it.
Yeah, tear my insides to
I like
shreds.
it. It's good garlic. It's a good garlicky taste, and it's got some heat behind it. It's vinegar, peppers, bell jalapeno, and habanero, garlic, and sea salt.
Habanero is what's in there.
It's batch number 46. Check them out.
Ever?
I guess I don't know,
Or
or
of the
46
batch.
of this. I don't
Of the bucket.
Maybe the bucket. Go check them out. HotSauceNashville.com. I'm sure they've got.
Don't base anything off of me because I don't eat this stuff.
Yeah. Lee is not a good determiner, and that's part of the reason I wanted him to try it. Because he's having such a hard time with this right now.
Yeah, I put it on the back of my tongue. And it's just down my throat. All right.
You good?
No,
good?
but I mean, what are we going to stop the podcast?
I guess not. Oh gosh. So, Hot Sauce Nashville, go check them out.
Yeah.
Get you a good, cool hat. The guy made these hats too. Custom designed them. Got them made overseas. Really cool hats.
So if you took the jalapeno and the habanero out, I'd eat this like ketchup.
So garlic and sea salt.
Yeah, and vinegar.
Vinegar.
If you took the heat out of this, or if you made a mild version of this, I'd eat it like ketchup. Not even kidding.
It's got a good taste to
It
it.
tasted good until
the
it burnt me
garlicky.
up.
I love like that. I'm a big garlic fan. And that's real.
I like bold flavors. I don't like heat. So it's not like I just drink milk and eat French fries dry.
Yeah.
I just the heat. I love garlic and onion and
I
vinegar.
might do some like buffalo wings and baste them in that.
I mean, you can eat that.
That'd
if you
probably be
want.
good.
You can eat that if you want to. That's fine.
That'd be real good on some wings for sure.
All right.
Speaking of fire,
Speaking of fired,
there is a podcast going around, and I told Lee about it the other day, so we both listened to it this week.
yeah, the whole thing. Oh, they're not done. Do you know that? There's more to come.
Oh, there is?
Yeah. They're
Oh, they haven't finished? I thought they were finished.
I know. They didn't finish. I don't know if they have like one more, but they said they were every once in a while they take a week off to get ahead of the research.
Yeah.
It spread out on the sides of my tongue.
Lee is still having problems.
It's growing. You keep talking.
Okay. So I didn't realize that they weren't done. But so there's a new podcast out by Christianity Today called The Rise and Fall of Mars Hill.
Yep.
Which I think they did a really good job. It feels like a big like crime podcast, like
Yeah,
what are
like
they,
a true
murder
crime.
mystery. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just an investigative journalism podcast about the rise and fall of this church in Seattle from like the early 2000s to the mid 2010s. And
it was a pretty big church.
yeah, it was huge.
Driscoll was I would say was a pivotal character in Christianity around that time.
Yeah. His name
If
was
you
Mark
were a
Driscoll.
Christian,
Yeah.
you knew about Mark Driscoll.
I've listened to Mark Driscoll for years. I haven't read any of his books, but
Yeah.
I listened to him for years, and Christianity Today is not exactly what I would consider top-notch Christian work. But
I can't remember what
They're just-
branch they're under. If they're like
I think they're Southern Baptists.
Southern Baptist, that's what I figured.
I think that's what they started. Billy Graham started it.
Did he?
I think so. He might have done the Gospel
He was
Coalition.
he was Jehovah's Witness, right?
No, God, don't. No.
So, anyways, big church.
Yep.
Started relatively small beginnings, like most churches do, as a church plant
Yeah.
in Seattle, which is an unchurched population.
Yeah. What did they say in there? That there were more Christians in the Middle East than in Seattle when he planted the church?
Yeah. Probably. So
They said that in
yeah.
there.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah.
And it was kind of telling too throughout the podcast, like later on in the podcast, where they go to like a big Christian conference at another church, and they're like, "This church is massive. Like,
Yeah.
what is this? What's going on here?"
Yeah.
But they ended with about 15,000 people.
Yep.
Mark Driscoll, as a pastor, was very brash. He was pushing this masculine agenda that he felt like.
Christian men were soft.
Yeah, that's not the words he used,
No.
but they're a
Not
little bit
only.
harsher
Yeah.
than that. And so,
But in general, that was his thing. That
yeah, that was his big thing is manliness. men.
Christianity was soft in general.
So I do have some thoughts about that.
Yeah.
But like working through, Mark Driscoll, started this church and was playing out throughout his career as this like big, boisterous personality. And then he essentially wanted full control of the church and dealings and stuff. And some of the elders pushed back on him, and not in a way that was, I would say, like demeaning or anything like that, but just were pushing back like, hey, we don't think that one man should have all this power.
And he even said that when they were planting the church.
Yeah.
And he would go to conferences for church planting. He'd be like, you have to have a board.
Yeah.
The senior pastor can't make all the decisions.
Yeah. Every board member needs to have, or every elder needs to have one vote. And that's the way that.
Yeah.
But he wanted complete control. And they said, hey, look, this isn't right for the church. And then essentially got fired from their positions.
Those two guys, yeah.
Yeah, they got fired and then excommunicated from the church, essentially told, don't talk to these people.
They sent out an email to the entire church body saying, don't talk to these people anymore.
Yeah, don't talk to these people anymore. And then...
And this is all like 2016. So it took 15 years to get
to that point.
Just awful.
Yeah. But then at a certain point, Driscoll... the leaders or the elders of the church go, well, there's these accusations against Driscoll. We need to look into it. And then he, the next week, is like, there's a witch hunt against me. Everybody's against me.
Yeah.
I'm going to resign. So then essentially a church with 15,000 members vanishes overnight.
Yeah. It's dissolved,
which is very unfortunate for everybody. But when you've got one guy at the top and he's the guy, like we've talked about that before, I don't want the one guy all the time.
Yeah.
Because then once that one guy's gone, everything just kind of feeds out.
Yeah.
So one of the like really telling things in the podcast that I really liked their perspective on is you can't see past what's going on day to day because you have these moments when you're in the church that are so like life-changing. Yeah. Like they were one of the first churches to do like the on-the-spot baptisms. Like just one day we're going to do this. And then the worship leader talked about his daughter getting baptized and all that stuff. And so you've got these really life-changing moments. And based on those moments and like, this is where your family is. You've seen your kids grow up here. You've married people in the church. You don't want to give that up.
Yeah.
And I grew up in a church like that. I saw a lot of similarities other than size.
Right.
I saw a lot of similarities between the church that I grew up in and Driscoll's church. But he was real big on like the masculinity side of Christianity.
Yeah.
Saying that like there's all these people that are out like in pastels and they're singing love songs to God and crying about it. And he had a really big problem with that.
Yeah. Because he grew up supposedly like in a bad part of town, fighting gangs. Not that he was in one. He just grew up in that environment.
Yeah.
And his dad was a blue collar worker his whole life. And it was be tough.
Yeah.
Men are tough. So
I see the pros of that.
Yeah.
But I also see the cons of it. Because when I think back about Promise Keepers was a big thing back then. Promise Keepers was like this big men's movement.
He specifically made fun of Promise Keepers.
Yeah, he hated Promise Keepers. Because they were too like lovey-dovey, like there's men that are hugging each other and crying and all this other stuff. And the problem, I think in that moment in Christianity, I think Christianity did need that in that moment. Because I look at people like my dad, who grew up real tough, real hard, and didn't know how to let those walls down.
Yeah.
And Promise Keepers was pretty pivotal for him in like
balancing your
love your church, love your family.
Yeah.
And we actually had a family friend growing up His name is Bud Simmons, and he used to.
Old Bud.
He was a character. He was like real Southern, like funny guy, but he would like hug my dad and like kiss him on the cheek.
Oof.
And tell my dad I love you and all that stuff. And it took my dad a long time being friends with that guy to even tell that guy, hey, I love you too. You know, it's not this like weird. So I don't know. I see the pros of that, but then I also saw I see the pros of the Promise Keepers, where they take this generation of really hard men in like the early 90s and late 80s that grew up in like these, you know, war times.
Right.
And helped them out. So I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that throughout the podcast that I wrote down that I was like, I have a problem with this, I have a problem with this, I have a problem with this.
I don't not have a problem with the stuff he did. At the like theology side of it, cool. Him doing the stuff he did was pretty annoying.
Yeah. He was a real big, like, narcissistic.
Yeah, he was.
I read a book a day. I've got a stack of books taller than you in my office I've read this week.
Mark Driscoll as a character.
Yeah.
He'd probably get on my nerves.
But and you don't need your pastor to be an a-hole.
Yeah.
And he was.
At the end. He didn't start out like that.
Yeah, and that was really like a big thing too, is like you had these guys who were saying...
we talk about this all the time. Power makes you crazy.
That's what corrupted him, was the power.
Yeah.
But you had these guys who like, he met this guy at a conference and then he was like, yeah, come live with me.
Yeah.
And like help me start this church. But within that power dynamic, because I grew up in a church like that, you have these moments of like, just very like serene, like sweetness. Like I'll do anything for you, but then it immediately goes to like, if you say something against them, heresy.
Now you're indebted to me. Yeah.
Like you're a heretic because you said.
And also, let's just be like not specifically those two guys that were elders, but remember the lady?
Yeah, that's what. Yeah. He accused her of heresy.
Well, they didn't interview. They didn't ask anybody else about that. They just asked the lady who got kicked out what happened.
Yeah.
Well, Mark's the worst. Well, of course.
Well, but she had nice things to say about Mark too.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
Yeah.
What'd she say? He needed some accountability.
Yeah, like you need
other strong men around you to check you on things.
Yeah.
And he kicked her out of the church.
And she specifically was talking about a guy in the church, like this guy, and then he like made fun of that guy. He's like, that guy will never have a church over 250 members. Yeah. Like, is that really what we're getting at here? Like, is that what matters?
Well, that's what they said it ended up being, is that he gave up health for speed.
Yeah.
And it was all about getting big as fast as possible. And
I have a big problem with like churches pitting churches against each other.
Yeah.
Like we're the church that's doing it the best. Like, that was big in my church growing up.
Narcissism stuff just bleeding out in every way it can.
The church I grew up in, no other church is doing it right. Essentially, I grew up thinking everybody else in all the other churches in town were going to hell for the most part.
It's a lot easier to buy into that when you're growing at the speed that Mars Hill was growing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But I find that funny that I don't know what church you grew up going to, but like
Church of Flame World Outreach Ministry
was
Incorporated.
it gigantic?
No.
Then how are you doing it right?
Yeah. We were probably one of the smaller churches in town.
But y'all were the ones
at
that were
one
doing
point
it right.
in like after like the Brownsville revival and stuff like that, we were a pretty booming church.
Yeah.
Brownsville revival was a revival in Florida that was like a big thing. It was a big charismatic movement. And we were pretty good then.
Yeah.
And then we started to fall off.
What was it called again?
Church of Flame World Outreach Ministries Incorporated.
Inc.
Yeah.
Like Monsters Inc.
Yeah. I don't know if they were ever incorporated, but another thing was like so there was a part in the Mars Hill experience or story where essentially he got on stage and said, wives do not work in this church.
Did they have a quote of that? A video of that?
Yeah.
So,
And he was saying, essentially, if your wife doesn't want to stay at home, you're not giving her enough kids.
So that's stupid. But I will say that again, at the first thought about all that, his thing was be a man, get a good job,
provide for your family,
get married, buy a house in the city, and raise a bunch of kids.
Yeah,
and raise your kids right, and Christianity will take over Seattle in 50 years.
Yeah. But there's no way you would convince my wife to do that.
No, I'm just saying, as a thought process.
Yeah, it makes sense to like be a man and do that, and then your wife can raise kids. But
how do we want Seattle to be better?
Yeah.
Have a bunch of Christians in Seattle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes
correct
procreate.
Christians.
Yeah.
Correct.
Go
Christians.
out and make kids
that also have our values and stuff.
Yeah.
He though, and they didn't say it in the podcast, which I figured they would. I think I told you this on the phone. Mars Hill in the New Testament is the first church that fails.
Yeah.
In the New Testament.
You were telling me about that. Yeah.
I'm not naming. That'd be like naming your boat the Titanic too.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Names are important to me.
Yeah.
And I feel like they have weight and.
Yeah. I'm not going to name my plane the Amelia Earnhardt.
Yeah. Or Earhart.
Earnart.
Earnhardt Jr.
Earnhardt Jr. Amelia Earnhardt Jr.
Is that what y'all are naming your daughter?
Yeah, absolutely. No, Presley Elaine.
Presley Elaine.
We're going to call her Laney.
Can I call her Elvis?
You can call her whatever you want. I don't care.
All right.
But then also, so within that deviation from the church of
My tongue is still on fire.
Just so you know, your wife stays at home and she's the.
But he also had women on staff at his church, so it's not like you were excommunicated for working.
Yeah, and that was like the weird, like this person
it's
can,
just
but
him
this person
getting
can't.
on stage and
talking out
of his butt,
which you don't want. I don't want a pastor. But and the whole like, essentially, your wife should be a sexual object to you, because he was saying, hold on,
I know.
He said you should give your man whatever he wants when he wants it. Talking about sex
in the context of husbands not cheating on their wives.
Yeah,
it's easier for a man to cheat on his wife if he's not
sexually satisfied
at home.
So give him whatever he wants.
No.
That's what he said.
I know that's what he said.
We're not talking about Christian theology.
Then yes,
we're talking about we're talking about Mars Hill and Mark Driscoll.
I'm just trying to defend the faith.
Oh yeah. No, the faith doesn't believe any of this.
Okay.
That's no. That's what these are the things that I have.
I'm trying to jump back and forth between talking about Mark Driscoll and
talking about the church
and talking about the capital C church.
Capital C church.
Yeah.
What about this was one thing that I experienced too.
I'm glad you took notes because I just listened to it.
Yeah, well, I didn't start taking notes until like 3 episodes in.
Do you think the media guy was funny? The way he just like answered questions like a dude.
He was like, "Whatever, I'll tell you. I'll tell you whatever you want."
You were there, weren't you, Jake?
Yeah.
Like,
that's it. Yeah, when he was talking about the
and they were in Turkey,
Aquafina or
when they
whatever.
were in Turkey.
Yeah. So,
see that kind of stuff. Mark Driscoll's a doofus.
Yeah. So there was
I also like his stuff.
Some
of his stuff.
There was a big video series that they were doing in Turkey to like go back to like all these like biblical places, and it was like some pretty gnarly stuff. They said
he read the first chapter of Ephesians where the church in Ephesians was. That's what they were doing.
Yeah.
Like
and
that kind of stuff.
They go back and they're like drive up to this resort. It's like a gated resort. There's bungalows all over the place. Every bungalow has its own private slide. There's butler service. There's all these things. Yeah. And they're thinking, heck,
his team that he brought with him, his media team.
And then essentially he gets off the bus and he's like, all right, guys, this is my stop.
Y'all are staying at the Motel 6 downtown
how
Turkey.
Good, yeah, Turkey.
Istanbul.
How great of a restaurant. How good of a hotel is.
Yeah.
So that stuff, I experienced that stuff too a lot growing up.
See, that's garbage.
Where it's like but it's all the same. It's you put the pastor here,
and
everybody else is below them.
Yeah,
I don't want to think that my my pastor is any better than me.
Yeah. Actually,
I don't want to think that like if I go like the whole like I was at a church where the pastor got everything.
Yeah.
And I made $200 a week.
Yeah.
Is
that what you mean better than me? I mean, like morally, I would like my pastor.
Oh,
to be,
well, so I think there's two sides to that. Like,
yeah.
I think I would like my pastor to be morally better than me, but also like, I don't want to think that my pastor has any more of a connection with God. I'm not putting him up on a pedestal. I want me and him to be equals.
Yeah.
I don't want my pastor to be way up here.
To become the Pope.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't want him to be the head figure or the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, like, if you hear your pastor spends an hour in his prayer room every morning talking with God, he is. He's got me.
Yeah. He's got me beat
but
there.
It's not just because it's who he is, but it's people giving him a bunch of stuff.
Yeah. Exactly.
If he rises up above me because of his effort and stuff.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. But like, yeah. I'm not ever gonna walk up to a pastor and just be like, bow down at his feet, right. Which is essentially what happens in churches like that. And that was one of the things that the elders at the end were trying to like stop from happening.
But you're already there.
Yeah, you're already there. I mean,
you didn't get that antivenom in there early enough.
Yeah, exactly.
You're giving antibiotics to a dead man,
and it was way past the point of we can do anything about this.
None of it was surprising. Nothing he did, like, I was like, oh my gosh, that happened?
Yeah, well, it's just we both were following Mark Driscoll throughout the years, and so it was.
We've read news about the 1,000 other pastors since 2016 that have done the same thing and failed. And
one of the things that was crazy to me was his, and I told you about, they haven't talked about this on a podcast, and they might not ever, was the remarks about Hillsong, where he said the biggest detriment to the Christian faith is Hillsong worship.
Yeah.
What? Come on, man.
That was his frou-frou music. Is that what he's getting at?
Yeah, because they didn't, at their church,
they played their own songs and hymns.
They played their own songs and hymns. You could not play.
Get me out of there.
Well, so we talked either last week or 2 weeks ago about King's Kaleidoscope. Mm-hmm.
That was the intro song to the podcast.
Yeah, so they went to Mars Hill and were part of the worship team. So I don't doubt
putting together music.
Yeah, I don't doubt that their worship was pretty good. But at the same time, there's good songs out there too. Like you're not the only. That goes back to the like we're the only people doing it right, and it starts to lead you into this mentality that it's like, well, are we the only? Like, how can we be the only people that are doing it right?
Yeah.
And then he wouldn't take advice from anybody.
No.
He told somebody he couldn't take advice from Perry Noble because Perry Noble's church wasn't as big as his.
Yeah. Yeah. Which,
there's plenty of people out there that have more wisdom than me, but their house is smaller.
True. But also, Mammoth isn't some giant company.
No.
But if some dude that started a t-shirt company last week wants to meet up with you and give you some advice.
Give me some advice?
Yeah. And be like,
if they started up last week, but we're talking about Perry Noble.
I'm just talking about the size thing.
Yeah.
Like if some guy that makes hot dogs out of his pickup truck wants to come and give me a bunch of advice.
He might have good advice, though.
He might.
That's the thing is like you can't count those people out.
But if I'm a turd,
if you're already an a-hole, you're not listening to anything.
And I'm willing to say in front of my team that I'm not listening to some chump making hot dogs out of his pickup truck.
Yeah.
Then that's a soundbite that's there forever.
Yeah.
And then it's used as examples in the future of how of a turd you were.
There was some things that I liked about
I like playing devil's advocate though.
Yeah. So the meeting where he like called all the men and they like closed doors.
If you're late, we ain't letting you in.
Yeah, if we late, if you're late, we're not letting you in and all that.
There ain't gonna be no music. There ain't gonna be no food. We ain't got T-shirts for you guys.
Yeah, that was cool, but it depends, because if we were in that meeting and he's just railing on me, for 2 hours or how, because he said he preached for 2 hours on how men need to be men.
But if Pastor Chris got up one Sunday and said this Wednesday,
men
come to your campus. If you're late, we ain't letting you in.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
But
I'd be there an hour early.
He is somebody that I know is not going to like.
True.
Yeah.
True.
And even those guys were like, all right, here we go. We're about to get just railed when we get in there.
Yeah. So it's a cool podcast, though.
Yeah. Go check it out. This week was talking about Joshua Harris.
I didn't know who that guy was.
I Kissed Dating Goodbye. You had never heard of that?
I had never heard of that. Not until like a year or two ago in Pat, but just as a reference. Anna knew who he was because she grew up homeschooled and they did it in her church as a curriculum.
It's a big thing, at least in charismatic movements.
Did you get the sense that guy was crazy?
Who, Joshua Harris?
Yeah. Now he's like lost it.
For sure. Failing. He divorced his wife.
And then 3 days later said, I'm not a Christian anymore.
Yeah.
But like he had that.
I don't get why he was like a speaker in the podcast. Like why
they interviewed him.
I know.
So they talked to him through to just as research, and then it was enough content to make a whole nother episode.
I'm fine with it making an episode of it, but I don't know why he was. That'd be like bringing.
Well, they weren't going to get Mark on.
TBD.
Yeah.
If there's still more episodes coming out.
Yeah. I thought there was. I heard the thing where it was talking about.
He's got a church in like
Scottsdale,
where all the great pastors go to die.
It's like an elephant graveyard. Of pastors. Or us. I mean, we've got a nice little rehab clinic for pastors. Or we try to.
Does?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw so many similarities between that church and the church I grew up in, which was completely narcissistic and like the whole, we're the church and you do what we say.
Yeah.
We are your leader. Every part of your life we control, essentially. And I have a lot of problems with that, like hierarchical.
Hierarchical.
Yeah, hierarchy.
Hierarchy.
I have a problem with that hierarchy.
I just...
like if our campus pastor, who we both know, walked up to me and was like, your wife doesn't need to work anymore, I'd be like, well, are you going to pay my bill? Or
right.
Like, how are we going to... There needs to be more than this. Or like if some pastor walked up to my wife and was like, you give your husband sex and oral pleasure anytime he wants. Or like he even had a book talking about like sex toys and prostate massages.
Yeah. Look. Whatever you do tonight, pal. But that one night. If you get the context for all that stuff, because think about it. Is sex viewed as good in the church and has been for it's not. It's dirty.
Don't have sex. Past. Yeah.
Don't have sex.
If you're single, don't have sex.
Don't have sex.
Once you get married,
sex will kill you. Once you're married, to have sex though.
Yeah.
That's messed up a lot of people.
Once you get married,
forget everything we said about sex.
That's essentially what it is. Sex is horrible. When you get married, come talk to me.
That has messed up a lot of people in the past. Yeah, people we know. Yeah, our age people even, but even more a couple like in the past decades. He was this, and so they brought that lady on that talks about Christianity and like evangelical Christianity. He had a rape culture in his church. He was preaching a rape culture from the pulpit, and people were clapping for him. Well, that's not going to happen. That didn't happen.
Yeah.
So okay, lady. I don't remember who it was, but it was some psychologist they had on that like went up against the Olympic guy. That was when she got famous.
Yeah.
Okay.
She was an Olympian and got,
no. She was just the attorney. She was the attorney representing all the athletes that had been.
I think she was an athlete.
Was she? I thought she was the lawyer on the team.
I think she was like one of the first people to come forward.
Well, but now she does that for a living.
Now she does that for a living.
Okay, so either she was an athlete or she was the one that represented them. She was.
Either way.
She got famous off of that.
Yeah.
Which is fine. But so you have a lot of experience inside churches. No. He was saying with all that, the blowjobs were biblical. Anything inside your marriage that's okay with both spouses is fine.
Yeah.
That's bad. That's the church being rape culture.
Well,
nowadays.
But I think in the context that he was talking about it, where he says the things that he says, granted, okay, if you know Mark, but then there were also people that were like, yeah, I thought he was being like, I thought it was like hyperbole, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
Or like when they came out of like something and there was a guy who wanted a picture and an autograph.
Yeah.
And they get in the car and he was like, can you believe that guy?
I'm a big deal.
Yeah. He was
I don't
like,
know if you know this. I'm kind of a big deal. And he thought he was quoting Anchorman.
And he started laughing. And then it was
serious. So that's if your only tool is a hammer, everything looks like a nail.
Yeah.
They even said that in the podcast.
Yeah.
Mark was a hammer. All he had was a hammer.
Yeah.
But the content behind the hammer,
in some cases,
I didn't hear anything theological other than like Mark's opinion. Nothing he said was like, well, that's wrong.
That's where you get into a lot of like very hairy gray space and not correct space.
Yeah.
And that's why I have a problem with pastors that are like that.
Super opinionated.
Super opinionated. My message notes are 30 minutes, but I'm going to talk for an hour and a half about my opinion and about, I don't care what your opinion is.
Yeah.
I don't care that you think that every man growing up now is a fairy and you want to talk about it for 20 minutes and tell it. Because like, I'm not a part of that.
Yeah.
I don't care that you think that Biden's the Antichrist. Or Obama was the Antichrist. You say that
Trump
to me,
or
is the Savior.
Is Jesus.
As soon as you say something like that, I'm checking out.
Yeah.
I'm done with you.
Yeah.
Because you're not being a pastor.
Yeah.
You're being a political.
It's like those old timey guys that would pay for like an hour on AM radio.
Yeah.
And just
talk.
They do whatever they want. Yeah. But that led to the last couple of episodes were the ex-evangelical movement.
Yeah.
And they have meetings and like hang out. So you're going to church.
Yeah.
Let's not.
Yeah.
But it's about how to deconstruct your Christianity.
Yeah. I have a problem with that was the reason that I didn't like that they had Joshua Harris on is because he is this big like deconstruction. Like I don't get why you're giving him a voice.
But remember they were talking about he posted that he had some $250 curriculum about how to deconstruct your Christianity.
Oh, does he?
And then it was up for 3 days, and then there was backlash, and he took it down. And it's like,
he's probably grasping for straws now.
That dude needs help. We all need help.
Yeah.
But just my pastor was a doofus. I'm out.
I have been a member of.
You would be a deconstructionist.
Whatever. I have been a member of.
If you didn't have a butt, have a backbone, you count them up.
Yeah. 4, 5, 6.
He's counting right now.
I've been a part of 6 ministries in total that were either failed or a senior leader had a moral failing.
6 of 7 or just 6?
6 of 7.
Yeah.
6 of 7. And
maybe that says more about you than about that.
But that's,
I'm just kidding.
It shows I do have a problem when people say the church hurt me or my pastor hurt me. And so I'm done with everything.
Yeah.
Mark could get up on stage and show his wiener to everybody and me be a part of the church and I'm not going to. Mark could slap me in the face with his wiener.
Right.
And I would be like, this isn't going to keep me from going to church because there's truths here. There are things that are very true and they're steadfast and they have never changed.
This McDonald's burger was gross. I'm never eating a cheeseburger again.
Yeah, exactly.
What?
That doesn't make any sense. What? You weren't that strong in your faith to begin with.
Right.
that's
You were there for something other than the base of this thing.
Yeah.
Do we need to move on?
We have talked about Mark Driscoll for 30 minutes,
All right,
and
we're
people
done.
are probably. So, speaking of horrible people and getting deplatformed, we're probably going to get deplatformed by YouTube.
Bring it on.
YouTube does not allow content about COVID-19 that poses a serious risk or harm. YouTube doesn't allow content that spreads medical information that contradicts local health organizations. Blah, 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 blah. So if you're posting content, do not post content on YouTube if it includes any of the following: treatment misinformation, content that encourages the use of home remedies, prayer, or rituals in place of medical treatment, such as consulting a doctor or going to the hospital. Content that claims there's a guaranteed cure for COVID-19. We haven't talked about that.
Never will.
Content that recommends the use of ivermectin and hydrochloroquine, claims that hydrochloroquine is an effective treatment, categorically claims that ivermectin is an effective treatment. Any other content that keeps people from going and seeking medical help. But the first one was pretty telling.
Yeah.
Content that encourages the use of home remedies or prayer.
Well, it said basically anything that we don't tell you to talk about.
Anything that isn't
What we said is okay.
Go get you a COVID shot.
What?
So,
Yeah.
everybody listening,
Wink. Wink.
go get the shot and do everything the World Health Organization says.
Well, not the CDC, not the WHO.
They said World Health Organization or other.
Well, they've been at odds
entities.
over the past year about what to do.
Hey, look,
They're
I'm just telling you.
yeah,
What,
okay.
I'm just telling you what we're telling people to do.
Yeah, with a wink and a nod.
Yeah. So if you can't find our podcast next week, it's not.
because we quit doing it.
Yeah.
Or it might be because we quit doing it.
Yeah. Who knows?
Yeah. But okay, so this is not on our list, but so basically, what's everybody mad about now that hospitals are full?
Yeah.
Are these people like stuck in the hospital for a week and fighting death? Or is it just because they've told everybody for the past year and a half, if you feel sick, go to the freaking hospital? And now we're wondering why hospitals are full.
I'm sure that's got something to do with it.
Do we still have people dying by the truckloads of COVID? No.
I think I could be wrong. I think our deaths are at an all-time high right now.
Really? But is that because this is all the people that at the beginning they said don't leave your house until we tell you to? And they all left their house.
So,
you're trying to stay on YouTube bad. Okay.
Well, no, what information was I looking at?
One of them YouTube channels.
This is not.
What is that?
This is saying
nobody's dying from it.
Oh, this is Alabama.
Well, that's
Show all.
That's where we live.
Yeah, but it
supposedly
changes
we're the
things.
worst.
It changes things. So we are not. I was mistaken. We are not at the peak right now.
We're not at an all-time high.
We are not at an all-time high. We're pretty high. The deaths on January 12th were around 4,000. Right now we're hitting at about 1,400. But in January we were sitting at like in the hundreds.
But that's when we told everybody to go back outside.
Yeah, and so
You hadn't been outside. You have zero.
I also read something the other day that said that we are currently in the South at the peak of Delta.
Okay.
It's gonna pretty soon it's gonna start coming back down. Just based on
Nature, science.
yeah, well, we've started seeing a decline in numbers.
Whoa.
But they're still high. But we're seeing a decline in numbers. Anyways.
Yeah.
So I've got this thing. It's pretty funny. There is a zoo in Bristol.
Is it a reverse zoo?
A what?
A reverse zoo?
where the animals go look at humans?
They put you in a little cage and put you in the middle of a bunch of animals.
No,
I saw an article for that.
I've never heard of that.
Okay, I hadn't either.
This is a regular zoo.
Is this that alligator lady?
No.
Jesus. Okay.
Just stop trying to guess.
Sorry.
So there's a zoo in Bristol.
There's not a lot of zoo news.
Bristol in England.
Oh, okay.
Bristol.
It's a third world country.
Yeah. And so there is this old man that has been at the car park, which is like the
parking lot,
for 20 years. He has been sitting with his high visibility vest on. So the zoo is owned by the zoo. And then this parking lot is owned by the Bristol City Council. So this guy's been there for 20 years, and it's $3 a car or $6 a car, whatever. And you get to go spend the whole day at the park or at the zoo. He missed one day in 20 years, and this was last week.
Dang.
So the zoo calls up the Bristol City Council and says, hey, your guy didn't show up today. Can you send somebody else down? They said, what are you talking about? We have never.
He was like a parking informant taking money?
He said,
and it was like free parking?
For 20 years. Dang. This man's in freaking Cancun somewhere.
Yeah.
He has took all the money he's taken. Yeah. And he's living on an island somewhere. But the zoo called and was like, hey, can you send somebody over here? Your guy didn't show up today. Dang. And they were like, what are you talking about? That's never been a guy for us.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I'm just trying to find that. If I can find that for my own life,
yeah,
I'll never do anything ever again.
You think you paid any taxes on that?
Absolutely not. That's all cash.
Dang.
That's all cash, brother.
I like it.
I love it.
Do you think he liked Crispitos?
If he didn't, he's insane.
What are you trying to say?
Crispitos are amazing, and you're insane for not liking Crispitos.
Yeah, they're disgusting.
We've talked about this on the podcast before. Yeah. I love Crispitos.
Yeah. Was it Alabama or the whole country? This article. Was it just Alabama?
The article that I saw was specifically Alabama.
Yeah, that's what I saw too.
Yeah. So Jefferson County.
That's where
schools,
I'm from.
Today is a very sad day for many of our school cafeterias. This will be the last Crispito they will eat for the foreseeable future. At Tyson, K-12 schools has announced they will not be making any more Crispitos for the rest of the year. This is due to a shortage of tortillas and workers. So Tyson, I'm assuming, is the food company. So that's like a
Tyson chicken.
I'm sure they do more than chicken.
Maybe, I don't know.
But so that would be that. I'm sure that's nationwide then.
Maybe. If you've got a kid in middle school or high school
or elementary school.
Oh God, I hate that. If you got a kid in public school, maybe even private school, I don't know, but
they'll make them for the private schools, but they ain't making them for the public schools.
Well, that's all I know is Crispitos are done.
Dunzo.
And it's a great day.
I am sad.
It's a great day.
I'm sad that I haven't had a Crispito in 12 years, 13 years.
You're probably for the better.
I want one now.
It was to the point where when we'd have Crispito Day, I would eat a PB&J.
What?
Over a Crispito. They're gross.
They're so good.
The outsides were burnt and the insides were gooey.
Yeah. So it's like a brownie. It's like a Mexican brownie. That sounds horrible. That sounds horrible. A Mexican brownie sounds horrible.
Patrick Kelly, if you hear this, you don't listen to this in your car. I should have said that at the beginning because you already heard it now. That dude was obsessed with Crispitos.
Really?
Yes. And
Crispitos are fantastic.
Oh, no.
So, do you want to hear about the deadliest cities in the U.S.?
Of course I do.
So, the deadliest cities, this is a CBS News murder map.
Sweet.
And it tells the 65 top deadliest cities in the U.S. At 65, you have Hampton, Virginia. Their murder rate in Hampton is 11.26 per 100,000. No, okay. I was just giving you the number 65.
Hampton.
So that's the least worst out of this list.
All right.
And then we have St. Louis is number 1.
Really?
Missouri. Yep.
Hold on, I'm going down to the bottom of this.
Yeah,
St. Louis is rough.
64.54 murders per 100,000.
Mm-hmm.
If you look, number 2 is Baltimore, Maryland. Number 3,
Birmingham,
Alabama,
baby.
But I'll tell you what's very interesting as well is if you scroll. Are you looking at it right now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If you scroll up to 21,
no,
Tuscaloosa, Alabama,
where we sit right now,
is 20.77 per 100,000.
Mm-hmm.
We're the 21st deadliest city in America,
and we're tiny.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I get Birmingham.
Yeah.
Sure, Birmingham.
How about in the world, though? We're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We're the 12th. St. Louis is the 12th deadliest city in the world.
Oh, well, yeah. Friggin' Afghanistan.
Mexico, Brazil, Venezuela, Mexico, Brazil, Brazil, Venezuela, Mexico.
Cartel ain't playing around.
No.
They'll kill you in a heartbeat.
Afghanistan wasn't near it.
God, that's crazy to me that Afghanistan's not high.
Dude. I ain't going to Brazil, I'll tell you that. Or Mexico.
I'll go to Mexico.
Yeah, not the white part.
not the white part?
Well,
you're not going to the white part?
Been to Mexico to the non-white part.
Oh, gosh, no.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Because the cartels have a vested interest in me having a good time.
Yeah. So that people don't freak out.
How crazy is that to think about?
Yeah.
The cartels want me to have a good time while I'm in Mexico.
Yeah.
I actually heard the number 1 export out of Mexico is no longer drugs for the cartel. Human trafficking.
People
is making them way more money.
Sure. Open the border.
Open it up.
All right. You want to do my thing?
Yeah. Would you rather? Man, we have blown through the last 4 things.
This is a good one.
Okay. We're sorry we talked about Mars Hill for so long.
It was a long podcast. We both listened to it and want to talk about it.
Yeah. Next week will be fun again.
Yeah. This will be fun.
Okay.
So,
one of Lee's famous would you rathers.
Would you rather? And I'm hoping this never happens.
Okay. I feel like I need to get serious.
Would you rather Meg cheat on you with like a professional athlete or some scrub that she works with at the school that's like bald and fat?
Let me think about my choices for a second. Do you know what yours is?
Yes.
Tell me about yours and your reasoning, because there's got to be a reasoning.
So me and Anna watched Silver Linings Playbook the other day, and what's that dude's name? Oh crap,
Bradley Cooper.
Bradley Cooper's wife cheats on him with like an old bald guy, and I told Anna.
That would just be so devastating.
I told Anna that makes me so much more madder than if you cheated on me with like an Alabama football player.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I said at the beginning.
No, that's 100%.
God forbid neither one. But
I don't want any of it to happen, but I want him. I want to look at the guy and go, I get it.
Yeah. All right.
That makes sense.
What if it's a really good looking dude that works at McDonald's? Or the head of a bank that's like fat and bald.
I mean,
I don't know now because me just adding that to it, I haven't thought about it. But
so the attractiveness plays into it because in my head,
the other side of it, you've had to think through like,
well, if it's a one-off, then like maybe they were at a bar or she was at a restaurant or something, and then they just happened to, but like, because then you're not going to be like, so what do you do? And then he's like, I'm in food services. And you're like, okay. And then you go back to his apartment and he's got a McDonald's uniform hanging up. You're going to be like, are you a manager? And no, I just work the drive-through.
And then she cheats on you? That's even
you're already,
worse.
You're already there.
I guess.
You're already there.
Yeah.
Might as well.
Wow, though. Or like she has to get to know this old bald fat dude. But that
So you wanna hear of which would you pick? Hot guy works at Mackie D's or old fat bald guy working
that's
at the
rich.
bank? Yeah.
It's a one-off. It's not some like affair.
Yeah.
It's
yeah. I mean, that's what I'm assuming. You're making the rules, but
Let's go one-off.
yeah.
Do you want me to be honest?
Yeah.
Throughout honest?
Yeah.
Like my reasoning and everything be honest?
Absolutely.
Old rich fat guy. So maybe we can get something out of it.
So I will say old rich fat guy as well, because there's two factors in my head for the reasoning that this happened. Okay.
I just made myself mad.
With the attractive guy, that's something I can't ever give her.
Right, true. Yeah.
With the old fat guy who's got some money, maybe I can work my way into that.
Man.
I can never give you attractiveness.
You taking her back?
Well, yeah, we're married.
Okay.
So
just not being in the situation, I agree.
Yeah.
So if we're going to get back together, let's try and get something out of this.
Yeah, sure. Hey,
He choked you.
Go back.
He
Slip a couple $100 bills out of his back pocket.
he choked you.
Yeah.
It wasn't completely consensual. Let's get some damages.
Let's get some change up. Which you could do this. Well, not with a
Not
McDonald's.
with the McDonald's.
Worker.
What's he going to give you? Some Big Macs?
If he was maybe.
That's why I changed it to big. That's why I changed it to McDonald's instead of like an Alabama football player.
If it was like a Major League Baseball player, I'd be like,
Is he a pitcher
for the Detroit Tigers? Maybe. Spencer.
Jeez. Okay, well, you said it. I didn't say it. Let's see if we can get some damages out of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
He hurt you.
If they've got money, Are you sure?
Yeah.
It was consensual.
What'd your drink smell like? Did you put
Does it smell like chloroform?
Did you put a little something in it?
So I'm gonna add something to this.
Okay.
Have you ever?
No. Cheated on Anna with a bank, with the manager of a bank. No.
That's not what I was gonna say. With the McDonald's. No. Have you ever looked back at your significant other's previous boyfriends and thought,
why?
Like, them or you? Like, are they more attractive than you or less attractive than you? Does it make you feel bad that they're unattractive? Because I've wrestled with that.
No. So just blanket statement, not getting into details.
Mm-hmm.
My wife dated a bunch of shrimps that she could boss around. That was kind of her MO.
Yeah.
And we've talked about that a ton, but we don't get into, I don't know any of their names or any of that stuff, but
Spencer. Just kidding.
No. But so
yeah.
Shrimpy little losers that she could beat
Boss
around. So
I've looked back at my wife's boyfriends and just thought, if she likes that,
why
am I that?
Yeah. We've talked about specifically that I was the first different one.
Okay.
That
maybe I need to ask her, am I the attractive one you got?
Yeah. But
or is this?
She came down here for school and started going to Highlands and getting back into her faith, and then we met.
Yeah.
So it was I'm like the back on track guy.
Yeah. I feel like I was I'm strong in my faith now. I want somebody who can
right. That's how.
Venture out into faith with me.
Yeah.
But she also wasn't dating attractive guys either. So but she's an attractive woman.
Yeah.
She's
sure.
I don't see how she was.
I don't like to think. I don't waste calories thinking about that.
My brain goes a lot of places.
Yeah, I put up wall. Yeah, I don't let mine.
Yeah,
I got a leash on my brain going back like that.
Yeah,
but
all right. Well, that was fun.
Yeah.
Mars Hill lasted way longer.
It
than I thought
lasted
it
a
was
long
gonna
time. But yeah, guys, 73.
be. Yep,
Episode
73.
Hot sauce is terrible. I'm not burning now. It only
Yeah.
took an hour.
The taste was good to me.
Minus the hot, it was good.
There's a lot of garlic, and I love garlic.
Yes.
So check them out.
Yep.
Hot Sauce Nashville.
Thank you guys for listening. Thanks for letting us into your lives. I shortened it.
Just one.
Just your lives
Oh.
in general.
Oh, okay.
And
Lee's fiery butthole.
no.
After
gosh
eating that
almighty.
hot sauce.
All right. Episode 73. Thank you guys.
All right.
See y'all next week.
See you.